talk about ejection. Ejection of a spent case from a bolt action rifle. There are several ways that this ejection works. Some bolt faces have a spring-loaded pin. Pull the bolt back, tension against the case head. Tractor is pretty much just about the opposite of the ejector. Pull the bolt fully back. It'll flip the case. Say that you just fired 7 mag, 700 Remington. It'll flip the case. The case will actually ride the right side wall of the chamber in a right-hand bolt action. Ride right kind of through the lug area of the action. Clears the action, it'll flip it out. Some of these situations with these spring-loaded ejectors will flip these cases 3, 4, 5, 6 feet out to the side. This is done so that when you run another loaded round into the chamber, that case is fully clear of the rifle, that it's not anywhere, that case is not anywhere to interfere with the working of the rifle for a quick second or third follow-up shot in a hunting situation. The other method of ejection is a blade ejector. Winchester Model 70s, Springfields and Enfields have blade ejectors. There are a few others out there, that have that have a blade ejector, and they all work pretty much the same. You pull that bolt back, not really hard, but reasonably quickly, and it hits that ejector that actually slides up into a slot in the bolt face as the bolt comes back, and it contacts the rear part of the case head and flips the case out to the side. Now this is done for a purpose that I just described, to throw that round clear for another reload into the rifle chamber. An empty fired case isn't very heavy in most instances, anywhere from a small 222 up to a big, like a 375 Chi-Tech or 300 H&H or whatever, 404 Jeffrey type cases. There are instances where some of these cases can weigh, 180 some odd grains, 190 grains, the actual empty case. But if you add, like for instance, in a 404 Jeffrey, let's add a 400 grain bullet to that. Let's add an 80 some odd grain powder charge plus the weight of the primer. Now we're up there right around 800 grains or so. This is a lot. And that much weight, it's not possible, it's not reasonable, and it's not safe to think that you can eject live cartridges out into the mid-air to flip out, and land, willy-nilly. Now what would happen if the rifle actually ejected one of those live rounds, flipped it out in the mid-air, and it lit on something sharp and hit the primer and touched the round off out there, as it landed? That could be a very, very serious situation. And we seem to have people that just don't understand what's going on here. And it's not possible to build a rifle to have an ejector of any design that is going to flip that case out there. A bolt action rifle is going to flip a loaded round out there. But every rifle design will flip an empty case because it's about a third of the weight, somewhere in the neighborhood of about a third of the weight, or 40% of the weight compared to the loaded round. And the other thing is, you've got a case that's 3 3/4 inches long. I mean, a loaded round that's 3 3/4 inches long, or somewhere in that neighborhood, and out to the end we've got a 400 grain bullet out on the far end, opposite the rim of the case, and we've got the powder column that extends to about pretty much the full length of the internal capacity of the case. Now this has a lot of weight out there, and it's much easier to send something out there that doesn't have this leverage ability to do with weight on the opposite end of where the ejectors are. It's not safe. So when you go to take cartridges out of your rifle, you pull the bolt back slowly and you turn the rifle to the side and you dump that case into your hand. Not just the case, but I'm talking about the loaded cartridge into your hand. You don't try to eject it out there, you see, into the air willy-nilly. And this could be, it's considerably remote, but as they say, things happen, and something could very seriously happen around that basically exploded off to your side there, a few feet off to your side, because it wasn't confined in a rifle chamber. Think about it. Think about it. Stop to think about it, really. It's a pretty serious situation. And anyway, I brought this up because you seem to have, this sort of situation. Just don't seem to understand. Society seems to go and go and go. They just don't seem to grasp some of these things. We need to be a hold of some of these areas that are important. They're important to me, and I think they're important to talk about, or else I wouldn't be talking about it. So, think about that, folks.